Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to be talking about how Japan is taking more leadership in the Pacific region. So before we go over the specific steps Japan has been doing recently, we have to set the current context in the Pacific region. So when it comes to Japan, Prime Minister Takaichi is a nationalist, so she wants to exert more power and more influence in the area. And then you have Trump, Japan's ally, or supposed ally, but yeah, he's getting crazier and crazier, and he likes to bully countries when he can. And then you have a neighbor of Japan, China, who's asserting itself more and more in the region. And then recently you have some very surprising events. After the summit in China between President Trump and Xi Jinping, they both have decided to lower tensions between the countries. So there's a total reversal and total surprise for officials around the world, but especially in Asia. So why did Trump decide to lower tensions with China? My opinion is that it has to do with China punching back during the trade war last year. So they threatened to stop exporting rare earth minerals. So you can see some in the pic here. And these are very important for many modern technologies, electric cars, drones, many military technologies, smartphones, and many other things. So with that move, and China also matched the tariffs. So China pretty much checkmated Trump on the trade war. So as I said earlier, Trump's a bully, but China was the only country to punch back. And so he has a lot of respect for China and especially Xi Jinping. So there's also signs diplomatically and rhetorically that America is trying to lower tensions. A new key phrase being used by a lot of people in the Trump administration is strategic stability. So they're saying they want to, stabilize the relationship. And so this key phrase sends important signals to bureaucrats in China and America, but to all other countries in the world. So Asian officials are anxious, especially in Japan, because now they have to rethink their foreign policies. And especially considering America is pulling military assets out of Asia for the Iran war. So America has pulled out artillery from Korea, and they pulled out air assets from Japan. Other signs that tensions are cooling between China and America. Defense Secretary Hegseth, the American Defense Secretary, he recently attended a security forum in Singapore but he notably did not mention Taiwan at all. And in the context of a reporter asking him about Chinese expansionism in the South China Sea, he said that America respects China's ambitions. Another worrying sign for Japanese and Asian officials is Trump is not approving the latest arms sales to Taiwan that were passed by the American Congress. So my opinion is that he's not doing it because he seems to have been persuaded by Xi Jinping during the summit that Taiwan is responsible for most of the tensions. And Trump is not okaying or signing off on the package, even though the weapons are very important for Taiwan to stop a potential amphibious assault by China. So included in the package are mobile air defense systems, mobile rocket systems, and drones. So all of these factors that we've talked about are why Japan is very anxious and feels like it has to assert itself more. Next, let's look at what Japan is doing more in detail. One thing that is helping Japan's diplomacy is that they are viewed very favorably in Asia. If you look at this pic, Japan is on the top left, and they have the highest median score for how favorably other Asians view Japan. So as you can see, other than China and Korea, Japan is viewed very favorably in Asia. And then in this pic, you can see Prime Minister Takaichi is very popular now, which helps her in negotiations. As you can see, the previous two prime ministers were never popular. Furthermore, she has a supermajority in parliament. So all she needs is her own party's votes to pass things. So this is the first time ever during this current constitution, which Japan has had since 1946. So there's many factors being discussed in these diplomatic tours. So Japan has given $10 billion in aid to Southeast Asia during this energy crisis. So 4/5 of all oil and natural gas that goes through the Strait of Hormuz goes to Asia. And so by far, Asia has been the hardest hit continent during the war in Iran. And Japan didn't, willy-nilly just choose 10 billion, but 10 billion is 1 year of oil import costs for Southeast Asia. And so that money will go towards stronger energy supply chains and more storage tanks for the developing countries in Southeast Asia. And then next, as you can see in this graph, Japan has been vastly increasing military spending. The $9 trillion you see on the top right, or 9 trillion yen, is equal to about $56 billion. So they're also increasing military spending, but they're also selling more weapons nowadays to other countries. And to do that, they had to reverse a ban on selling offensive weapons. So, one of the main reasons Japan is doing that is they want to show that democracies in the Pacific can also support each other through a weapons supply chain. Because you have Russia, China, and North Korea helping each other and integrating more and more militarily. North Korean soldiers are even fighting in the war in Ukraine. So going to some specifics about these arms deals to other countries. So Japan will provide 6 old but renovated destroyer escorts to the Philippines. So these ships have important anti-ship and anti-submarine abilities, and this will help the Philippines fight back or counterpunch when China harasses their fishing vessels, which they do often. And another deal that was signed was with Australia. Japan signed a $6 billion deal to provide 11 stealth frigates. And the biggest selling point why Japan got the contract over other companies was because Japan's frigates use half the manpower that other frigates usually use. And this is important because the Australian Navy and the Japanese Navy are short on manpower. And then also in the deal with Australia, Japan will test some weapons in Australia, like these artillery weapons in the picture. So all of these changes, especially the military things that I've been talking about, these are a big change for Japan. So Japan has a pacifist constitution that was passed in 1946 because of Japanese aggression in the 30s and 40s. The Americans said you cannot have an offensive military. And Article 9 of the current Japanese constitution says Japan cannot have offensive capabilities. The name of the Japanese military is Self-Defense Forces. So, and in the past, well, until recently, Japan could not even export offensive weapons to other countries. But recently, Takaichi's party got rid of that law. So next, let's look at rare earth minerals. So in order to be exporting all these weapons to other countries, Japan needs a stable supply of rare earth minerals. Good news is Japan found some on a remote island southeast of Tokyo. But the bad news is the minerals are deep on the deep sea floor. And as you can see, they in the picture, they do have a drill going down there and sucking up mud, and then they separate the mud and the rare earth minerals. But unfortunately, that whole process is very expensive, and Japan doesn't know if they're going to be able to do that at scale because of the expense of all of it. So, as a insurance policy, Japan will cooperate more with Australia when it comes to rare earth minerals. So, Australia has um, one of the largest reserves of rare earth minerals, and they are starting to expand their capacity for mining and refining. Um, yeah, so those are all the factors that I wanted to touch on today. Hopefully, you guys have a better understanding of Japan in the Pacific and the context of the Pacific. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to use the comments below. Thank you.